My name is Nick Laidlaw. I'm a holistic exercise and lifestyle coach from Sydney's Northern Beaches. I've created a video platform because I'd love to reach as many people as possible with these simple messages of health. I've also interviewed a host of individuals from our community. In their lives and in their own way, they've all helped to shape me to be a better person. So I hope that they inspire you in some way too. Lucy and Guy, thanks for coming to have a chat with me today.
Thanks for having us.
So I gave you guys a little bit of an introduction before, and was just talking about the Av Green team, and just how impressed I am with the work that you guys do, and just the way that you guys hold yourself, and the difference that you're making in our community. And I think it's a really awesome, commendable thing. But what I wanted to kind of first start off is what is the Av Green team, to those who don't know?
It is just kind of like a community group that is mainly young people, mainly our friends that we've grown up with, and we are kind of just a group of kids that are interested in like the environment and sustainability and things like that. And so yeah, it's mainly just like a little hub.
Yeah. Cool.
God, do you have anything?
What about you, Guy?
Yeah, it's been so cool to see it come together.
Yeah.
Like Lucy messaged me one day and she was like, we should start a group, because like everyone was pretty starting to get into their own thing and a bit more into like sustainable living, and like particularly around like I guess plastic waste and seeing how much rubbish there is on the beach. So that was a big wake up call. And then yeah, to see everyone come together and like start working together to achieve one common goal was like awesome.
Yeah.
So it's been like, and everyone's pretty much our age.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just trying to make it super positive and fun, and yeah, because like no one likes to be someone breathing down their back like, you've got a plastic bag, like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? You kind of just want to, like, you want to get people to care like internally from inside.
Yeah.
So that's what it's kind of all been about. And like the group is so awesome. Like
Yeah.
you got like all the guys that surf around here who the cool kids like Lockie Rombouts and Max and Al, and like
names.
they're just the best to
Yeah.
have them part of it. Like
Yeah.
it like I guess it gives the younger kids people to
Yeah.
look up to, and like they're like, yeah, we want to change too, and like we want to start giving back to the community and the ocean and the beautiful place where we live.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it is a really good thing for people to look up to. Like, I'm maybe a bit older than you guys, and then there's younger people coming up, and from whichever way you look at it in the community, to see like a young core group of friends that would be like hanging out and interacting anyway, to spend their time doing something really positive like that. Yeah, it's a really cool thing. And what made you like kind of begin to take the step and try and form the group, Liz?
Yeah, so we create. I'm kind of a social media fiend, and we created the Facebook group, and then once we started posting like things that we were interested about, or like sharing shocking stories or whatever, we went to a few of the Living Ocean Cleans, and we were like, oh, let's do this. And then I feel like I didn't like provoke anything too much. Like everyone's energy was just kind of like feeding off each other.
You wanted to kind of like build on what you
Yeah.
already saw was a
Like-
bit of consciousness.
Yeah, I feel like I organised a lot, or I may have like sent a lot of emails out, or like spoken to the council and things, but like there was like, we have this other little group that's called like the Key Av Green team, and that's like 10 of us that are like super keen on like organising and stuff like that. So it was like kind of just
Yeah.
bouncing off
And I
that.
suppose when people in the community see that you're doing a good thing like me, because I had no idea about it until I saw your social media page, and I was like, far out, I want to support that. So I suppose people are like-minded, they kind of, it just
Yeah.
builds its momentum on its own. Yeah, and I see like you mentioned before, guys, like a lot of it, you might watch some environmental docos, and a lot of them can bring like a really kind of negative feeling, although sometimes that has to be the nature of the beast, so bring you awareness. But I've seen there's probably enough of that out there, and the focus that you guys have taken on, whether you consciously have done it or not, it seems to be like a really positive spin, really heart opening for me anyway. And yeah, it seems to be fun. Like, can you talk about like that in any way? Is that something that you consciously did, or?
Yeah, well, I find with like a lot of kind of heavy topics, you have to enter from that kind of, if you want to interest people our age, like you've got to talk about like trivia nights, or like free food, or like, like to make it kind of like fun and like inviting. And I think a lot of the people that are involved now wouldn't have been involved unless it was that like fun kind of like, we've got shirts and like that
And
kind
you
of
do sewing
thing.
bees and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
sew your own
Yeah, and
shirts
like
stuff
had like
that.
painting workshop
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's the only way you can kind of tackle that kind of thing, and then like all the other stuff comes after it. With our sustainability day that we ran, that was like a magical wonderland
That
for
was
all of
amazing.
us. Like
Yeah.
we had like all these people supporting us, like free food, and all the speakers, they weren't talking about anything in a really negative light. Like they were bringing light to issues, but they weren't so much lecturing us. And that's what a lot of people said that came, who have been to other events, is that our event was like really, really positive. And I think that comes from like a kind of amateur place as well. Like we're young, we don't understand, and like
Yeah.
you know, like yeah.
It comes from that place, or for me, it looks like it comes from a very innocent place of you guys seeing something you don't like, and like, fuck, I want to help, I want to make it better. I
Yeah.
want to see. Is that something you agree with?
Yeah, for sure. It's like we were talking about it the other day, just having like, there's no money involved or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I guess it's pretty transparent. It's like there's no alternative, like
There's no agenda.
Yeah, there's no agenda to it. It's just like we just want to help because like we do live in such an amazing place.
Yeah.
Like this area is just beautiful.
Yeah. Is that something that's inspired you to kind of go on this path as well?
Definitely. Like
Yeah.
that day we were surfing at Whaley.
Yeah.
And it was just an amazing day, you know, sun was shining and the water was crystal clear, and then this dolphin just came up and started playing us up with us, just this one, and man,
And it just wanted to, it was so curious.
so
wasn't it?
curious, and like, you know, they have this like intuition and like consciousness that we just don't know. Like they're there and you look in their eyes and you're just like, wow, like
Yeah.
truly amazing. And then
Yeah.
I remember we probably played with it for like an hour, and like it was just the
It
best
just
day.
kept on hanging out, coming back.
And then like I was speaking to like my mum and I was trying to explain to her how it felt for me, and like, you know, you can't really explain in words what that feeling's like, but like a few weeks later I was speaking to one of the ferry drivers and they like were telling me that that dolphin like always follows them up and down from the Central Coast to Palmy, and then one day they like found it washed up dead, like tangled in some fishing net, like that same dolphin. I was just like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah.
I just had the most amazing like experience with this animal, and it's kind of like being taken away from us, like from its like natural habitat because of like the way humans are living. And that kind of really struck me, and I was like this is hectic, like how many animals are dying because of what we're putting in the ocean. And there was a lot, you know, there's a lot of plastic and a lot of rubbish that ends up in the ocean. Like I read a stat that it was like 8 million tons every year get put in there, which is like, you know, unfathomable. Can't even relate to that because it's so big.
Connect with that number.
And then around here, you've got so many people that are conscious and aware and want to help. So like to have people come together and create change is just amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's been so cool.
Yeah.
Because we are the lucky few that live around here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we want to keep it that way, right? Yeah. And what does the sense of community have to do with Av Green Team, or what does it mean to you, that kind of community?
I don't know. It's like kind of like the whole thing is community. Like it, like anything, you know, where like ideas are like buzzing, and like we've like like I said, we've all grown up together. There's like they're like brothers and sisters to me, and like all like coming together and like working with you guys and the other organizations in the area that care about, you know, the place we live in and that kind of thing. It's like, I don't know, I just feel like it's really, really important. And like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the power of community is like amazing. Like when you see, I guess I've already mentioned, like people come together to kind of as a collective with one common goal. Like the power of that is just, it's amazing. Like things can start happening, and you know, one community starts doing it, and then the domino effect, others start seeing, and then even with our age group, I feel like, you know, there's something going on. Like people are starting to awake, and
it is symbolic, our community, of like a bigger thing, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Because like it's so beautiful where we live and everything. And then like I'll like go to the like city, and I'll go to like my uni, and like people will be talking about it, be like, Lucy, like saw on Facebook that you have this Av Green Team thing, and it's like it's catching on to other people, and I just think that's like really cool about it.
Yeah. Is it something that you see could kind of be scalable? You know, keeping it small seems like a really key aspect as well to me. But for you guys, like, is that something that you hope to achieve, or hope to maybe just catch on in other areas, maybe where it's in the city, or maybe it's up or down the coast? Like, do you think that is a possibility?
I feel like it's kind of already happening. Like, there's so many little groups that are kind of like frothing on each other. It's not like, it's not competitive at all.
It's abundant.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know, people are talking to us and being like, this is sick, like we're gonna have a clean down in Wollongong or something.
Yeah, we
It's
get like messages from like
Yeah.
down south and stuff like that, being like, see what you did here,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, it's really cool.
It doesn't take much to get the ball rolling because so many people are becoming aware of this stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I guess, like a few years ago, like assume, like for me it was like someone else to do it. Like someone else is gonna save the animals and like someone else will clean up the oceans, but like it's us. That's our job.
And it's overwhelming too because like I've been to China and I've like been to LA and probably like two of the most polluted places, and like you like look at the like destruction and like the pollution and it's like so overwhelming and it's like on such a big scale and it's like so hectic, and like for so long I've put the environment into like a category of like too hard.
Yeah.
And like that's why it's really nice that like we live in this kind of like small suburb that we can feel like we're having like power and influence, and like I don't think it would happen anywhere else that easily. Maybe
You can feel a tangible change happening.
Yeah.
And what about to places that have got a bigger scale? Or what about if it's just an individual who wants to see change? Like, what would you guys recommend? Whether they've got I think we've got the ocean to entice us because we play and live in the beach and it's just so aesthetically gorgeous. But, you know, what about anyone that isn't so fortunate, but they still care about our environment?
I guess like, yeah, I remember you told me once, like, if you want to make a change in the world, start with yourself. And that like really hit home for me. And it's like, I'm just going to do what I think is right. Yeah. And for me, it was like, you know, not using plastic bags or like single-use plastic is such a big thing. So yeah, no plastic bags, like coffee cups. They've actually got like a plastic lining inside them. So I was like, I've got to get my own mug. Straws, just kind of cut them out. And then water bottles too, like just get your own water bottle. So for me, it was like...
Simple things.
Yeah, simple things. I guess, like you were saying, we have that motivation of the ocean. So I guess being away from that, like... I don't know, it's tough because like in our world, we are pretty disconnected from nature, I think. Like, like there was a time when we kind of forgot like the impact that we're having as humans on the earth. So to like bring it back to that, I guess, it's
so hard because like people in like urban environments, like they could be like, oh, like I want to be involved, but it's like so hard. Like they're in like a concrete jungle. But I watched a permaculture video. And like having like rooftop gardens and like little things like that is like such a cool step to like becoming sustainable, or like even like engaging with like permaculture like in that way is really, really cool. Managing your water, like little like lifestyle changes, like not buying from like the mass market, like, you know, shops and stuff like that.
More locally.
Or like
supporting the local owners and
and that's like an ideological change, I think. Rather than so much like, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And in the end, if you're going to be supporting local businesses and kind of paying with your dollar consciously like that, it's obviously going to be better for yourself as well, because if the food's traveled less kilometres, it's going to be more fresh and it's going to be from a better source more than likely anyway. So there's no real downside that I can think of in that regard anyway. Cool. All right. And who are some of the organisations, or if any, like on a bigger scale, or individuals maybe who have influenced, you know, maybe for you first, Lucy, like to kind of give you a kick in the butt and go, okay, cool, I'm going to start something, and then maybe I'll ask you as well, Guy.
To be honest, the big organisations I find not so transparent, and like I could say like Greenpeace is inspiring, but like I also like don't really know what they do, and like there's like the whole like diplomatic side of the environment I find kind of confusing, and like I prefer not to like take that as inspiration. I do really like the Wilderness Society, and specifically because they're like Australia focused, and like I've been to Tasmania and they do lots there, and I really like that. But it's more like bloggers on Instagram. Like there's this girl, I think her name's A Girl for a Clean World, and she has been traveling around, and she just like has had like absolutely like no waste and things like that. And it's like little like people that I can like sort of, you know, follow in that way, that are like, it's more like doable than the bigger kind of bodies.
Is that a decision you made when you put together the Up Green team? Was that like no money? Was that one of the first things that you thought? Did you consciously think that so you could just keep it so simple and transparent, or
No, it was kind of just like a bit too hard. Like like it's
to raise funds.
Like, and what are we even funding? Like, we have nothing that we really want to fund because like
give us money.
Yeah,
how's it going?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that brings a whole element of like too hard, and like I was gonna apply for like an ABN and all that kind of thing, and the lady was like, well, if you're setting up as a not-for-profit, like you've got to do all this, and this, and I was like, ew, there's too much politics involved with that. Like
let's just clean some beaches.
Yeah, we just want to do stuff, and that's like too hard. Like
for sure. No, I'm hearing you. It makes sense as well.
Yeah.
And what about you guys? Who are some people that inspire you? You know, as far as maybe on an environmental level, but you know, on any level.
Yeah, I think Dave Rastovich, the surfer, he was just like, he's the dude. He's the best.
He is.
Like when I was went to New Zealand, I just got like obsessed with him in a way because what he was doing was so awesome. Yeah. And he's just an amazing surfer too and a full-on environmental activist. So he was a huge motivator for me. Locally, like Living Ocean, like just their beach cleans and like help out with them a bit. So that was cool, like on a local level. But
yeah, definitely.
I don't know, Ben Player, like you, like just. Yeah, but Rasta. He's number one. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, guys. Well, so before we wrap this up, if you kind of had one ask or two asks of people out there watching this, if they live in Avalon or if they live over in China, what would it be? If you had one.
Oh, that's hard.
I'd say just like nourish your body firstly and then where you live. Like that's a massive thing for me. Like obviously yourself is the most important thing in this world, but you know, I wake up and look at the ocean and we live here and I want to look after the area that we're living. Because I think, you know, like nature will give back to you when you look after it. And the ocean for me is just the most, it brings in an abundant amount of joy for me. And like jumping in it cleanses the soul. So I kind of want to like give back to it.
Yeah.
Like in a relationship, you know, you're relating to each other and like it brings me so much joy. Like coming off a wave, that's like when you're like in awe and feeling loved up and pure bliss and I just want to give back to it. So, you know, appreciate nature and like just got to keep looking after it and you're reducing the amount of plastic's a pretty simple thing.
Yeah.
So that's one way of, you know.
Yeah, on the same like kind of line, just like realizing that like we like have to like look after the planet now, not like the other way around kind of thing. And like we're like kind of it's not gonna work the way it's working at the moment. So like maybe just to even like change your like ideas about things or like make like a small change, like you know, whether it's like making your own veggie garden or little things like that. They're like just a change in a mindset is like the most important, I think.
Awesome. I love that. I love the fact of just kind of seeing what Mother Nature gives to you, like you said, and I can see, you know, all of us live that way. Seeing what it gives to you, so just feeling that inclination to serve that relationship, that's a beautiful way to look at it. And I just love what you guys do, so thanks very much and keep it up. And awesome work.
Thanks, ladies.
Thanks.
Cool.